What's up, everybody? I am Sniggenhoff, and we are playing EU4, but it looks so strange and weird, and it looks like there's a billion extra provinces. It's because we're playing the MEIOU, or MEIOU, or M&T mod for EU4. It's a complete overhaul mod. They've changed almost every single core system in the game. Not to mention the fact they've added a ton of extra provinces, and about 90 years to the base game itself. So, of all of these countries, I think I'm gonna play Muscovy. Muscovy is kind of small to start out, so I don't really want to start out overpowered. They have some challenges to overcome. They've got Novgorod to the north, Lithuania to the east, west, and the White Horde to the south and east. Although I assume there's going to be events that will break up the White Horde as we go along, because once we get to the normal start date of EU4, the White Horde is kind of split up into the Crimea and the Great Horde, and then Muscovy owns some of this land as well as Perm does. So I'd bet that will happen at some point. And also, just like so much of the game is different, and I don't understand all of it. I don't know how it all works because I've never played the M&T mod before, 1.0 or 2.0. I've seen a few things about it. I know somewhat what is going on, but not a ton. So let's go ahead and hop into the game. I'm gonna play on normal, not because I want to save scum or anything, but I know there might be some crashing issues with the mod, and also I don't have any achievements to go for right now, so we'll just play a little casual. How does that sound? But one of the big changes to the game is instead of having the development in EU4, where it's administrative development, diplomatic development, and military development, that is completely erased and replaced with population. There is rural population, urban population, and upper class population. And urban population is basically much more valuable per pop than rural population is. But you need rural population to support the rural population to support the farming and create enough food to have urban population. So let's jump into Moscow really quick. So Moscow has 16 total population, and each one pop represents about 10,000 people is the idea. And by about, I think they actually have that. I think they have that actually like completely mapped out. Like population data, it doesn't show it right now. It probably has to get into the game a little bit before we can see it. But so like rural population, we've got 120,000 of them. A little bit of local trade power, 0.45 ducats in tax income, and 0.01 in trade value. Okay. Whereas our urban population gives us 0.55 tax income for each pop. Whereas so they're about 0.1 more valuable in tax income, much more local trade power. Much more trade value, not to mention we also get sailors, land force limit, naval force limit. We get a lot more from urban population than we do from rural population, but we need the rural population to make us food. And to better demonstrate that, let me pull up one of the special map modes. They have all these special map modes about all this extra data they've added to the game, but we're just going to pull up farming for now and farming efficiency. So we've added the farming efficiency data to the trade map mode. And so all of these indicators are the farming efficiency in the provinces. And as you can see, most of the area around us is pretty low farming efficiency. I don't want to zoom all the way out because the last time I tried to do that, the game crashed. But let me read this tooltip real quick and kind of help you understand what farming efficiency does. So farming efficiency represents extra yield per farmer. Each rural population produces 1 unit of food, which is enough to feed itself. However, this value is multiplied by the farming efficiency of a province. So a province with 10 rural population and 20% farming efficiency would produce 12 food, 10 of which is eaten by the rural population, leaving 2 excess food. 1 excess food can support 1 rural population power, 1 rural production power, or 1 city dweller. High farming efficiency is the foundation of an advanced society. So right now, nobody has very high farming efficiency, but as we get later into the game, I'm sure there will be things that will increase our farming efficiency to allow us to have large urban populations and just large populations in general. But we can't directly affect this. I can't just hit a button to increase population here. That's not the way it works. It's all the factors in the game make up how it works. Also, trade provinces can move around the big trade nodes. They aren't always the same as the ones they spawn into the game with. I don't know if there's like an important center of trade around here, but like estuaries don't move because that's like part of the land, obviously. But like the important trade cities will move around. They won't just be static. Things like that. Again, there's a lot of stuff, but we'll figure it out as we go. I don't want to spend the entire episode explaining systems that I don't even understand. So let's go ahead and hop in. First of all, we'll select rivals. Right after I might sneeze. Whew. I did sneeze. I muted my microphone in time, so you're welcome. You are welcome. I definitely think I want to rival Ryazan. Do I want to rival Novgorod? That should be fine. May help us get more allies. We do have the two vassals in Rostov and Gaelic, which is another thing that works completely differently. I'm pretty sure you can't just go in and start annexing a vassal like you would in normal EU4. Oh, I guess you can. To annex a vassal, you need to centralize your nation and wait for the assimilation process to be over. Right now, yeah. So, like, you can't just hit this button and annex the vassal. You have to do a lot more stuff to be able to do that. So, I set them as a rival. What missions do I have to start out with? Create an army. Improve relations with Murom. Who is Murom? These guys? Or save the Russian people in Vorok Lansky, which is... where? Volok Lansky. Not buttons I wanted to hit. Here, which is Novgorod. Do I want to go to war with Novgorod right off the bat? They're allied with Pskov, which is somewhere around over here. That's Ryazan. Pskov. Who's Ryazan allied with? Nobody? I think I'd rather fight them first. Let's just improve... How many do I need? 75% of the force limit? I mean, I want to build up to my force limit if I can. 2 out of 5. That should get us there. Also, income works a lot differently in this game. You make, well, although I am making a fair bit of money right now, but you make generally a lot less than you do. Your force limits are a lot smaller. You get a lot of stuff from your estates. It's all big and it's all complicated. And I'm kind of scared. But let's go ahead and get going here. Is there any trade? We're in the Rusland trade now. You know what? Let me take that farming efficiency data off. Remove modifiers. That helps. The only thing that flows in is from the east over here, so I can't transfer trade. Is there any like decent trade provinces around me I can collect from? I guess just this. Except for I can't. Well, let me... What do I want to do? I want to fight these guys. But I probably should get some allies around me. Lithuania probably wouldn't be the worst ally in the world. Let me start improving with them. I am rivaled to them, so I should issue an embargo there and there. And let's go ahead and unpause. Speed it up to like speed 3. Should get some pop-ups here early in the game though. Welcome to I'm gonna say MEIOU. I think I've heard one of the developers say MEIOU, so I'm gonna say MEIOU. Well, welcome to MEIOU and Taxes 2.0. MEIOU and Taxes 2.0 is the EU4 total conversion mod. It is brought to you by Gigao, Demian, Sunwoo, Malorn, Myazel, and the whole MNT team. Thanks for downloading our mod. Whether you've played the mod before or are totally new, we really hope you enjoy your experience. MNT 2.0 contains myriads of new provinces compared to previous versions, as well as tons of new countries compared to vanilla. The game has been radically reworked from the ground up with the introduction of the new population system, which replaces the vanilla development system. And I'm going to have them tell me more. Okay. Who else do I want to improve with? Maybe I should just improve with the White Horde for now. Oh, I'm still on pause. Playing with New World Plagues. I'm going to play with New World Plagues on. I don't really know what it does, but might as well. I don't want to go to war with them anytime soon. It's not like I want to ally them or anything. But maybe having them not hate me right now so that they don't attack me would be good. They seem kind of big and scary. Allow me to, like, consolidate power over here. Who rivaled Novgorod? Tver and Muscovy. These are the people you said as rivals, right? Tver rivaled you? Tver is like really trying to punch above their weight class. Who rivaled Ryazan? Votrinisk and myself. Who's Votrinisk? Those guys. Also trying to kind of punch above their weight class, I think. If I could get... Maybe I should, like, try to get the Livonians on my side. They seem to be in a bit of a better position than, Let me advance it one more day so I can send this guy. Then I read this. More information. The core of the new system is population. It is composed of 3 types. These types are rural population, urban population, and upper class population, which replace the base tax, base reduction, and base manpower development types respectively. Next to these in the province interface, for those with the Common Sense DLC enabled, is the province interaction button. For those who do not have Common Sense enabled, please construct a road or fort building in the province interface. After a few days, we'll trigger the province interaction event. Marvelous. Onto the game. So yeah, that would be this button that they were talking about. Let me push it. There we go. Which we tried to look at it earlier, and it didn't have anything up yet. And it doesn't have anything up yet still. I think we have to wait a little bit longer into the game. They do not want an alliance with me at all. And I still can't send my merchant out anywhere? Doesn't look like it. The game does move a little slowly as we get started, so bear with me. I'm actually going to pull back from here. I'm going to send him to start spying on Ryazan, I think. Who's Ryazan allied with? Karachev, which is one of these small guys. That small guy. Should be able to take him on, the two of them on, pretty easily, I think. Orthodox faith, until it was supplanted by the nationalism in the 19th century. Religion was the driving force of the world. Although nation-states formed in this era, the roots of nationalism were usually found in religion. Even a small heresy could spill over into a revolution unless contained and corrected. But worse was to rule over heathens who rejected the true faith entirely. Such infidels were untrustworthy at best, openly treacherous at worst. Glory and honor came to those who could convert such people to the true faith. I'm going to go ahead and have him give me all news on that. Okay, we're getting corruption, which means we probably have our dudes, our things spawned. Yes. So nobles here, lesser nobles there, lesser nobles there, lesser nobles there, greater nobles there, lesser nobles there, and lesser nobles there. Okay. An alliance offer from Tver. Maybe want that, maybe don't. Okay, so we can go in here now, and we can assess our state's power. So the greater nobles have a treasury of 43 ducats, an annual income of 8 ducats. They have 64% of the power among landed estates, and 9 privileges, and they have 1 regiment in reserve right now. So we can look at all the privileges they have. Commoner's Band, we lose army tradition and have a higher military tech cost. Minus 25% manpower in every province owned by this estate. Minus 25% production efficiency. Minus 25% local tax, or minus 15% local tax. Plus advisor costs. Lowered prestige, higher prestige decay, and lowered legitimacy. And then plus 1 unrest in every province owned by this state. But these are all their privileges that they have, which allow them to have... Excuse me, I'm very sorry. Which allow them to have all of this. So you kind of have to balance out the privileges and the bonuses you get from them. And again, they can only have the one. They only have the one. And the lesser nobles also just have the one. They make less money because they have less power. They've only got these privileges. Lowered manpower in every state, lowered production efficiency in every state, lowered tax modifier in every state. Every year there's a 25% chance for 1% of lesser nobles to convert to greater nobles. And then 5% average autonomy in every province owned by this state. And also, we don't own any provinces directly. Every single province is owned by an estate, including our capital in Moscow. It's owned by the greater nobles. There is 12% autonomy in our capital province. So yeah, that's kind of the way it's going to go. Can we now look at the population data? We can now. So yeah, they have it tracked all the way down to at least the tens in terms of how much population is in the in the province, which is crazy. But yeah, so that's kind of how all that works. And once we get into wars and things, we can start interacting with them a little bit more. Speaking of things, I do have 2 relationship slots open right now that I would like to use. I would kind of like Lithuania to be one of them, but they are a ways off. What about... Well, actually, there's a button for this. I have 8 people who'd be willing to form an alliance with me. Belozero, Tarusa, Muram, Votrinisk, Klizama, Tver, Nizhny Novgorod, Karashev, Pskov, and Kiev. Kiev's not a bad size, and they're far enough away. I may try to get an alliance with them. Let me see who they've rivaled. Poland and Moldavia? Yeah, that should be fine. And I don't think I actually need a diplomat free to be able to... No, I do. Come back from... here. The White Horde would accept an alliance with me? They can't, because our government types can't ally with each other. But interesting that they would accept. I don't know if I want to ally Tver. They seem a lot more like a country I'd like to conquer. So I think I'm going to wait. Alright, so we got an ally down there. I would still like to ally Lithuania. Plentiful manpower seems good. Game's still moving a little slow, but it's a big mod, and from what I understand, it is slow at the beginning. If we get up to a couple Decembers from now and it's still moving pretty slow, we may have an issue on our hands. Okay, and I think you need 40 to fabricate claims now, which feels like a lot, but it's my mission. Making the army bigger, which should happen in 2 days. Speaking of armies, I should lower my army maintenance. At least down to there, I think. Alright. Improve relations, improve our prestige, or save the Russian people here. No, here. No. Here. I mean, do I want to jump into a war with Novgorod right now? They're allied with Muscovy and Kiev. So that's not great. We would lose an ally for that. That doesn't feel all that great. No, I think I'd rather go after Ryazan right now. Improve relations or improve our prestige. Also, stability is not a number you can just is not a thing you can just push a button to improve. It improves naturally on its own. How much prestige do I need for this? 50, and I have 10, and it's decaying. So yeah, we'll just improve relations there. I will accept this royal marriage, however. Lithuania, are you any closer to wanting to ally me? Much closer. Come back from there. And improve relations. Am I still at my force limit? Yeah, I actually lost one force limit once all the estates spawned. So, and then can I look at my estate? Not yet. Were there any other things I want to do here? I mean, you can donate land to the church for extra church influence. Pursue religious tolerance, show religious options. Speaking of religion, does orthodoxy work the same way as it does before? When reaching, you want to get a high church influence. Doing so gives you extra missionaries, extra missionary strength, higher tech costs, lower unrest, lower production efficiency, lower tax modifier, and lower manpower. At no church influence, I get no modifiers. Where I am right now, I get this. And then there's also secularism or fanaticism, which gives morale of armies, tolerance, extra fort defense, year legitimacy, or trade efficiency, lowered advisor cost, lower tech cost. And I don't know how that all works together either. Current piety gives us this. Okay. So there's kind of two bars going on here, although they probably couldn't put it in. How high the church influence is and how high our piety is. Right now our piety is swinging a little bit towards the fanaticism side, because we have that 1.5 morale of armies. Okay. And can we lower our piety? Yes, this makes us lose 20 piety. And this makes us gain church influence and gain piety. Okay. Good to know. Let's let the game run for a little bit longer. Also, our corruption is growing. We should probably deal with that. Root it out a little bit. Yeah, that'll make it shrink. Just go all the way up, why not? Did you get any other allies? A few. Tver, Karashev, and Nizhny Novgorod. Tver. Is this Karashev? No. This is Bryansk. This is Nizhny Novgorod. Is this Karashev? No, that's Gaelic. Cherusa. That's Karashev. But I think we could probably take... I don't know. Maybe not. Queen Regency. Great. Well, we're not declaring war on anybody for a little while. Also, I could probably hire some advisors. But we'll worry about that on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked the video, feel free to hit the like button down below, as well as subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. Have you ever played M&T before, and what do you think of the 2.0 version of the mod? Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.